So this video is going to be really, really cool because today I wanted to report about Bitcoin. And yes, you heard me say that, even you doubters. So I broke this video down into a couple of sections. So first, we're going to talk about what Bitcoin actually is because it's so freaking confusing. Are we real? You really have to understand it first. And the second thing we're going to talk about is a little bit about Bitcoin miners. Don't be worried so far. Just keep watching the video. You're going to find out soon that it's not that complicated. At least I'm hoping in how I'm explaining it that it's not so complicated. And the third thing is that, and I'm just looking at my notes in case you're wondering where my eyes are glancing right now. I'm not glancing at anything else, just my notes. How many Bitcoin actually there are in the world? Welcome to my channel. My name is Cornelia Pauline. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Show me those likes later on after you watch the video, of course. So first of all, just so you know, I'm also obviously no expert, right? I just wanted to record this video right now based on my research and what I found out so far, because it's something that I definitely want to get into it. And I want to get into it because of my son as well, because I think it's something that is definitely going to stick around for the future. But I'm going to record some extra videos on cryptocurrency as well, blockchain and everything like that, and how you set up ledgers such as this bad boy that I just got in the mail, Ledger Nano X, you guys. For everyone who knows this, it's like a really good one, so I've been told. But let's get started. So this video should be really just about what Bitcoin actually is. Bitcoin, first of all, and you probably heard this concept before, but it's a decentralized currency that is called a cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin is one currency among many cryptocurrencies, right? And I don't like to compare it maybe with fiscal currency, but just to give you an idea. So for instance, you have the US dollar, which, you know, is maybe like the Bitcoin. It's not like the same at all, but just to give you an idea, if you're really still confused about it. And then you have, of course, euro, you have the Japanese yen, you have the Korean won, you have the Swiss francs, and so on and so on. So you have all kinds of different currencies, and the same is true for the entire cryptocurrency. Who would call me right now? And yes, I'm recording my phone because I really wanted to record this video. Okay, so you have the same for all kinds of different cryptocurrencies, right? So Bitcoin is one of them, and it's like the major one right now out there that everyone talks about. And I'm gonna get to another video about why that is. But what does that even mean? So in order to explain to you really this decentralized idea of Bitcoin, I wanted to give you guys an example. So if you're like me, and if you have been listening to my channel like a bunch already, you know that I'm a coffee lover, like being born in Vienna and all. And we love our coffee. We love it really strong. For instance, let's say you like Starbucks. Just for the sake of this example, I'm not going to judge you, but let's say you want to order this famous like caramel macchiato with like a shot of vanilla syrup, not too sweet, and like whipped cream on top. You want to go and order like one of those caramel macchiato at Starbucks, and you're paying with your credit card, right? And then you are sending that money from you to the seller. So to Starbucks. Am I right? Wrong! Okay, that is really wrong. This is not the case. So the bank is actually sending your money that you paid for with your credit card to the seller's bank account. So the banks are the middlemen. They are in between this transaction. It's not a direct transaction like pretty much a lot of people think about. It's not. The bank is a middleman. And it's been forever and always been like a middleman here. And that is the centralized power of a bank. And banks really have all the power, and they also charge you all those fees. They charge Starbucks fees for you using the credit card, and they charge you fees for using the credit card. What are like central banks, right? The central banks actually are the ones that really can print more money and give it away at bailouts too whenever they can. And I'm not going to get into the history now of this because this would be a super long video, but I will record one because it's just once you really start understanding how banks works and the crazy business that they're in, you automatically are leaning towards really wanting to make cryptocurrency. I mean, it's already a reality, but you really want it to kind of be here sooner than it's already going to be here. Because what banks are doing is let's not talk about that. Okay. But anyway, so let me look at my notes. You might be wondering right now, like, so if cryptocurrency, because the difference is, okay, to go back to our example, so I just ordered my Starbucks, my amazing caramel macchiato, I'm paying with the credit card. And then what cryptocurrency would be doing, if I'm paying with my cryptocurrency card, that money would go directly to Starbucks. There will be no middleman anymore. So the banks are going to be taking out of this equation. And this is why and what makes then Bitcoin and cryptocurrency really decentralized. And if you think about it, this is amazing because it's going to give the power back to the people in a way. The decentralized, who verifies actually all of this? Like, that was my first question when I found out about it. I was like, okay, this is interesting, but who the heck verifies like all of this? Who makes sure like I'm sending the right amount and stuff? There's this decentralized network of miners. And as you can tell, I really wrote out a script. I usually don't do this, but I wrote out the script for this video just to make sure that I'm really giving you guys the information, because it's not as easy, of course, to explain it, but I want it to be as easy and to understand it more. Hence, I'm recording this video as well. And so you guys can also teach your kids and your spouses and whatnot. Okay, there's this decentralized network of miners all over the world, and they check and they verify that your money has been moved. And the cool thing about then cryptocurrency in general, or like the blockchain, to which we get to in just a second, is that every transaction is actually really open and transparent, and there's no transactions that are happening in secret. And that's like another cool thing about it, is that transparency factor. Okay, so no one can tell a lie, no one can cheat, fake numbers or anything like that. Not that I'm insinuating that certain institutions are doing that. But anyways, decentralized control is important, because the decentralized control would be the most democratic form of a currency in the world, if you really think about it, right? This would be, and let me just say this again. So the decentralized control of something, a currency like that, would be the most democratic form of actually operating this kind of currency in the world. And central banks and governments won't be able to manipulate it. And you might be thinking, maybe they could be. And I'm saying, from what I understand so far, no, they can't. And I'm gonna get to it in a second. Let's talk first about Bitcoin miners, because I talked to you guys about it, that there's obviously these miners around the world which are really making sure that everything's happening like open and transparent and all this kind of stuff. So what are Bitcoin miners? Miners are essentially just computers all over the world that solve super hard math problems. And to verify transactions and mint new Bitcoin as well. So mint essentially means creating new Bitcoin as well, right? And they are the ones, like I said, verifying the transactions. And these miners, like that's what you call them, they solve, like I said, also a ton of math problems, because there's a lot of like math involved with all of this. And what's happening is that the blockchain in and of itself is actually giving them the Bitcoin. The blockchain is almost like the marketplace in a way, where everything, all the transactions, everything like that is happening. And the blockchain is the database, in other words, that keeps all the records of also all the Bitcoins that have ever been created. So that's another important thing. So it seems to me that the blockchain really serves like a couple of, has a couple of usability, right? For various reasons. And sometimes it's getting confusing, because people talk about the blockchain in a certain context and you think, hey, that's only what the blockchain is about. But it's not really just that, right? It's really more like an intricate system. The important thing too, to add to that, from what I understood, is that the miners, and I'm just like keep touching my hair because I got my hair done yesterday and it does feel really good. If you're a fellow lady out there, fellow mom who got her hair cut after like months, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But back to the video. The miners, like, they're protected by encrypted algorithms, and a hacker cannot hack those. Like you heard about like some hackers hacking the bank's databases because of something that's called also Bitcoin wallets. And so everyone that wants to buy Bitcoin or trade Bitcoin, it's really recommended that they have a physical wallet. And there's like different kind of forms and whatever, not want to research then, but I'm gonna record a different video for this. Otherwise this video will get, I think, too intense, at least for me as well. But so yeah, there's these physical wallets, right, which look really cool. Some of them look like credit cards, and they essentially keep track of and record of how much Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies you have. And so the hacker would have to like hack every single person in the network, which is literally millions of them, to kind of like hack hack it, which is impossible so far. Or like from all the smarter people than me are saying it's impossible. So I'm just gonna take this as it's true for now, right? So how many Bitcoins are there as well? And I found this another fact to be really interesting about Bitcoin. So there's 1 million Bitcoin that has ever been created, and 88% of them are already mined, meaning they're kind of gone, right? And because of that, and you've seen the rise of like the Bitcoin numbers right now. I think right now at the time of the recording of the video, it's almost hitting $50,000 for one Bitcoin. So the value is so intensely extremely high is because, and please, again, I say this a lot, but I'm no financial expert. I'm not a cryptocurrency expert or anything like that. This is just coming from, a business owner who's also a mom who's learning all of this stuff because, she didn't learn it from in school and she didn't have her parents teach her. And I'm trying to understand all of this and make sense of all of this because I will teach my kid differently so that, my kid is going to have a financially free future. So take this with a grain of salt. But in essence, like this is what I think has been happening as more and more people understand cryptocurrency, as this becomes a more tangible in a way, right? Because more financial institutions like, for instance, PayPal, they just added on for you to be able to accept payments and send payments in cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, or in Bitcoin, as more companies and businesses accept it as well. There's also talks that Tesla will accept it, that you can pay for a Tesla in Bitcoin and stuff like that. That of course, as the demand grows and now it's becoming more tangible and people understand it more, now the price is going up and up and up. And if there's going to be a bubble or not, we shall see. This is not for me to say, but I do think you can see after there has been the initial crash, like now you can see already it's here to stay in a certain way because things are just happening differently. To go back to like how many Bitcoins there are. So as I'm recording this video and as of this time of this video, there's 88% already mined, and 900 new Bitcoins are literally minted every single day at the time of this video, which is also crazy. And if you're wondering right now, if the government cannot like eventually go ahead, since the price is rising of certain cryptocurrencies, and can do what they did with fiscal currency, or especially when you think about, like the Fed with like the US dollar, and they can go ahead and they just print more money and print trillions of Bitcoin suddenly, that seems to be also like impossible. No, they cannot do that. There can only be 21 million Bitcoin in the world ever. The fixed amount is essentially also what drives the current price of Bitcoin up because, if it's gone, it's gone.